Okay, looks like it's a good time to get started again. Right now we're going to talk about analyzing a graph, and we're going to talk about rates of change. Now, when we talk about rates of change, I think it's fairly obvious what we're talking about. All graphs are going to look different. You've got times when they increase, you've got times when they're decreasing. Which direction is the line pointed? Well, let's start by giving us a little bit of some definitions. We can say that something is increasing on an interval if f of a is less than f of b, and this is where a is less than b. I could say something is decreasing on an interval if f of a is greater than f of b, but this is again where a is less than b. So notice that we're consistently choosing a smaller than b. So we're kind of looking at our x-axis from the left to the right. Finally, we'll say that a graph is constant on an interval if f of a is equal to f of b for any a and b on the interval. So, let's talk about what each of these things mean. Let's show you what that's going to look like. So, conveniently, we have an example. Here, I could take a look at someplace where I could choose any 2 points on, say, this interval here. And I could say that this interval looks like it's going to go from like negative infinity all the way up to 1, 2, 3. Looks like all the way up to about negative 3. So I could choose any interval, any 2 values here, and as long as I'm going from left to right, this value of a and this value of b, my f of a is going to be, in this case, my f of a is negative. In this case, my f of b is positive, so it's pretty clear that, note that f of b is greater than my f of a. This is increasing. F of a is smaller than my f of b. F of a is smaller, it's more negative, than my f of b. Well, so right here, this is an interval of increase. Well, now I've got this other interval in the middle here. It looks like I've got a place where anywhere I choose, these 2 things are going to be constant. So I'm going to choose not a and b, but I'm going to choose like a c and d. So I'll do c and d. And it looks like in between these 2 values, in this case I'm going to say, that looks like it's from about negative 3 all the way up to like 4. And I wasn't precise when I drew this graph. This f of c is going to be equal to this f of d. So these 2 things are equal, which means this right here is constant on this interval. All right, let's continue to move on along in our graph. And if I take a look at values like E and F, I can see that my y values, or my f of e, and my and my f of f, I'll call it, function of a value f, this is going to be greater than. Well, it looks like these are going to be decreasing. That as I steadily move to the left, my values are going to decrease. So on this interval here, we could say that, actually this is 4 to, looks like infinity, this graph is going to be decreasing. And technically at these endpoints, I should not include these endpoints because I've got corners. So I should not actually include these endpoints here. So I'm going to go ahead and change my notation. Okay, if you've got any questions, shoot me an email. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video.